Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today, we've got two absolute disasters to watch unfold in real time. First up is a young Karen I've covered before, the one who thinks her entire neighborhood is part of a grand conspiracy to ruin her life. Instead of, touching grass or getting therapy, she decided her best move was to start filing protection orders against basically everyone within a 200-foot radius. Neighbors, delivery drivers, the mailmen if they've breathed near her property line. She thinks they're stalking her. But today, karma decided to wake up, stretch, and slap her upside the head. Because someone finally filed one right back against her. And not only did it stick, it hit harder than every fake claim she's thrown at the court so far. Watching her realize the turntables have, in fact, turned is pure entertainment then. After we wrap up Karen's delusional meltdown, we're heading straight into a courtroom where a guy manages to nuke his entire sentencing hearing from orbit. This man had one job: sit down, shut up, and let the judge hand him the lightest possible sentence. Instead, he chose to go full crash out. He interrupts the judge, argues with the prosecutor, talks back to the deputies, and basically speedruns his way into getting the absolute maximum. You can literally watch the moment the judge's patience evaporates and his sentence doubles because he couldn't stop himself from proving he's the smartest idiot in the room.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you would both raise your right hands for me, please. Swear the testimony in this case to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm the one who issued the temporary protection order in this case based on allegations that Ms. Paz drove her vehicle towards Ms. Shearer and some other people and then made them jump out of the way and circled around them. And I believe I read that there is an active investigation. I believe I don't know if Sheriff's Office or Olympia Police was called Ms. Shearer. Which one?
What was your question?
What law enforcement agency responded?
Lacey. I spoke to Sergeant.
And is there an ongoing investigation? Has it been closed?
Yeah, they were going to send it to the prosecutor's office because I already have a protection order against her daughter for an assault.
Right.
And they were going to let the prosecutor decide what to do in this matter.
Okay. Do you know if that's happened?
I know that they sent it to the prosecutor. I have not spoke with the prosecutor yet. They said that they were sending it to the prosecutor, and if the prosecutor found it a violation of the protection order, they would have a warrant out for Alana's arrest.
One of the things you're going to notice throughout these hearings is just how obsessed Jaime is with Alana. It's honestly unsettling. Every single time she opens her mouth, she finds a way to drag Alana into it, even when the hearing has absolutely nothing to do with her. It's like she's running a one-woman smear campaign in a courtroom that no one else subscribed to. She's so wrapped up in her own paranoia that she actually tries to convince the prosecutor to file charges against Alana over some completely unfounded claim that her mom almost hit her with a car intentionally. And when I say unfounded, I mean there's no evidence, no witness, no video, no police report, just Jaime's imagination doing laps at full speed. She says it with so much confidence too, like she expects the prosecutor to slam his hand on the table and go, "Wow, you're right. Let me go arrest her right now." Instead, all she really does is make it painfully clear that this entire obsession isn't about safety, justice, or anything rational. It's just Jaime projecting her personal drama onto the court and hoping someone important will take the bait. Spoiler, they don't.
All right, but right now we're talking not about Ms. Woodward, we're talking about Ms. Paz.
No, I know. I'm just telling you that's all I know about that.
Okay.
May I speak, Your Honor?
The investigation, the police investigation involve Ms. Paz or Ms. Woodward or both?
The police investigation that showed up on the scene said that he understood I could not see them in the middle of the road because of the darkness. It wasn't until I saw them with my headlights that I was able to see them.
Okay, so that's not my question. My question, Ms. Shearer, is your understanding as to the referral to the prosecutor's office was concerning Ms. Paz or concerning Ms. Woodward?
I think both.
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
Okay. All right. Well, since I'm going to take these one at a time for Ms. Paz, since you're before me now, and Ms. Woodward, if you come when I ask you to participate, there is the possibility that the matter may be at the Lacey prosecutor's office for consideration. And I will indicate to each of you that you have been, and for Ms. Paz now, I've placed you under oath. Anything you say could be used against you in a criminal prosecution. And if you were to have an attorney with you right now, since there is the possibility of a criminal prosecution, I don't see a charge yet having been filed. But if there is the possibility of a criminal prosecution, I'm quite confident that an attorney would tell you, do not say anything.
Okay.
Because you run the risk of hurting your interests if a criminal charge is ultimately filed. So for right now, since it's Ms. Paz that's before me, Ms. Paz, you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you have any question about that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm not telling you can't say something. I'm letting you know that given what I've been told, there is the possibility at least of a criminal charge, and you would run great risk if you say anything at all.
Okay, my intent, all I know is my intent was not to run anybody over. I pulled in, I thought I saw my daughter by the mailbox. I went to go to loop around, and as I was looping, I noticed there were people in the middle of the road. It was pitch black. Was not my intention. I didn't even know Jamie was in the road until I parked my car and heard her. So my intention was not to hurt anybody.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Briefly, Ms. Shearer.
Okay. The speed limit is 5 miles per hour and it's posted all through the complex. She should not have even been driving 20 or 30 miles an hour towards anybody to begin with.
She's not just a petulant Karen, but she's also appointed herself the apartment parking lot speed police, completely unofficial, entirely unwanted, and absolutely unbearable. She's the type who stands on her balcony with her phone out like she's running radar, ready to yell at anyone going 11 miles per hour instead of the sacred 10. No wonder everyone in the complex hates her. She's out there policing imaginary crimes, filing protection orders like she's Oprah giving out cars, and then acting shocked when the court finally gets tired of her antics. At some point, you have to wonder, does she actually believe she's the moral guardian of the parking lot? Or is she just addicted to the drama she creates? Either way, it's pretty clear she's not being persecuted by her neighbors. She's just exhausting them.
You upon exiting the car.
Yep. I said, that's Alana's mom. She goes, yep, sure is. Just like that. That happened, I swear.
I don't recall that.
Of course you don't.
Okay. I don't want you speaking to one another. You're only speaking to me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Ms. Shearer, tell me what's been the why do you and Ms. Woodward have this beef going on? What's the underlying story there?
We were friends, and then one day she started sending me awful messages on Facebook Messenger, and because I didn't give her the response that she was wanting, she showed up at my front door with my children present in my home. She busted through my front door when I opened it because she said she just wanted to have a conversation, and then she proceeded to assault me on my living room floor, beat the crap out of me, giving me a moderate concussion, a bloody nose, bruises all over my body in front of my 1-year-old son and my 14-year-old son. who was begging Alana to get off of me, and the neighbor had to come and pull her off of me. I did not even touch her.
That is not true, Your Honor. There are multiple.
Okay. Yeah,
That is
I
true.
haven't asked you anything yet, Ms. Woodward.
Yeah.
That is true.
And is that what the police report was filed on? Was it that, or was it the driving incident?
The driving incident.
Okay, now let me ask, this is to Ms. Shearer.
Oh,
There were police reports for both incidents, and Alana was charged for the assault that she did on me. And yes, it happened. And since then, other neighbors are threatening to assault me because of Alana. I don't even feel safe in my home now. They're trying to force me out of my apartments.
Okay. All right. So you currently have a protection order against Ms. Woodward, and that order expires next July. Okay.
may I say something, Your Honor?
Let's pause. Yes, go ahead.
The reason for me being there was my 4-year-old grandson was being bullied by me, sent home crying while she was screaming at the other kids in the complex.
So her 4-year-old
But now it's time for our bundle of entitlement, insecurity, and parking lot police energy to take a big OL sip of her own medicine. Because the very person she weaponized a protection order against is now turning around and seeking one against her. And the best part? You can practically hear the Oh No reverse card slam onto the courtroom table. All that energy she spent filing baseless complaints, tattling to anyone who would listen, and playing the victim. Yeah, that's coming back full circle. For once, she's the one under the microscope. And the difference is night and day, where her accusations were dramatic, hypothetical, and fueled by paranoia. The case against her actually has substance. It turns out when you treat the entire neighborhood like your personal enemies list. Eventually, someone's going to return the favor, and this time, it looks like the court is taking it seriously.
Do not say a word unless I ask you a question, please. You sit and listen. That's all you do.
The reason for me to go there was to assist my daughter in calling the sheriff's department in order to figure out what we could do for her screaming at all the kids in the neighborhood for the last 2 weeks. Because once this thing happened with her and my daughter, everything was fine. The kids played fine. We all played at the park together. Nobody said a word to anybody for at least a month. And then within the last 2 weeks before this incident, my grandson had came home about 4 or 5 times crying that she was yelling at everybody not to play with him. He's 4 years old. He doesn't understand. We just didn't know what else we could do when somebody is screaming at a 4-year-old.
All right. Thank you.
May I say something?
No, not yet. I'll let you know.
Okay.
And Ms. Paz, do you live in the same unit, or you were just there visiting your daughter?
I was just going there because my daughter was going to call the police. I live at a different residence.
Okay.
I only go there to assist my daughter. I barely even see Jamie.
Ms. Paz, I have continued the temporary order that I previously entered in this case. You're to have no contact with Ms. Shearer or her children, and not harm them in any way, and you are ordered to stay 10 feet away from Ms. Shearer and her children, and 10 feet from their residence, 10 feet from the vehicle owned by Ms. Shearer, and 10 feet away from her children.
Understand, Your Honor.
This order will be in effect for 1 year from today's date. Ms. Shearer, if you need to have it renewed, you'll have to petition the court at that time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Paz. And
Am I free to?
You're free to go. I've signed the order. It doesn't need to be reserved since you both were present. And if you wish to get a copy of the order, you're welcome to contact District Court to receive a copy.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And right on par with her behavior so far. Every step she's taken in this whole saga has been one long, predictable pattern of overreaction, projection, and main character syndrome. So of course, when someone finally pushes back with their own protection order request, it fits her storyline perfectly. She's been stirring the pot, playing the victim, and inserting herself into everyone's business, and now she's shocked that someone finally said enough. It's classic, dish it out all day. But the second consequences show up, suddenly she's confused and offended. Honestly, it's the most on-brand moment she's had yet.
Sure. And Ms. Woodward, looks like you did not issue a temporary order at the time of your last hearing. Tell me briefly why you think you need a protection order.
Been so many situations. This protection order is more for my children than it is for me. Jamie bullying my son, yelling at my son, like my mom said. He'd come home crying on occasions. I'm normally outside with him. I just stay on the back porch or on the front porch because anytime I'm anywhere else located in the apartment, this is seems to be very triggering for Miss Shearer. She's tried to call the police for multiple occasions. The police have told themselves that I should get a protection order against her. My attorney has told me to get a protection order against her because the things that she's been doing should not be okay. They should not be allowed. My son, like my mom said, is only 4 years old, and I've tried to explain to him multiple times about, why this is happening and everything, but an adult should not be able to bully a 4-year-old the way that she does. She also yells at the neighbors' children. All of the parents are too scared to say something to her. One of them has tried to say something to her the other day, and Jamie was screaming at her in the parking lot, as well as her son, for just simply saying it. He's not allowed to just, live freely in our apartment complex because of her. And I just don't know what else to do other than to get a protection order for him so she can... Or I don't know what party is, but bullying other children in the neighborhood who are not even her own, if they play with my son or, are kind to my son, they're not allowed to play with her children, and her children have to come inside. She's causing this big thing in our apartment complex, and it's just getting ridiculous. And these are all children. And she's a grown up doing this.
All right, thank you. Ms. Shearer.
Hi.
Anything you want to say about the allegation that you've been speaking
Absolutely.
to?
Absolutely. I would never yell. I would never yell at a 4-year-old. That is...
No. When you're an entitled brat who's coasted through life without ever hearing the word no, you simply cannot leave quietly. You must get the last word in, even if it torpedoes whatever microscopic shred of credibility you had left. So instead of accepting the ruling like an adult, she decides to tack on one final performance, because of course she does.
Up in front of my children. So, first of all, I want to tell you,
Ms. Shearer, stop.
I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, my question is, do you have contact with Ms. Woodward's children? I'm not worried about Ms. Woodward, I'm just asking her children.
No, in fact, my nephew plays with her child, and that's fine. But tell me why my 15-year-old and 10-year-old would want to play with her kid. There's absolutely no way they even want to play with her 4-year-old. She's trying to force it to happen. And the other neighbor kids don't play with her kid over my kids because they've been friends with my kids for the 8 years we've lived here. We've lived here longer than she has. So I don't tell the other kids not to play with her kid. I tell them not to play with my kids at the same time as her kid. And as a mother, that is within my right to not have her children or anyone associated with her around my children after the assault. I don't want anybody in her family or in her circle to associate with my family. In fact, I have a protection order against Alana, which involves my kids, so she shouldn't be nowhere near my kids. And Alana came into my parking lot near my home the other day. She doesn't stay away from my home.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And when her kid says hi, I say hi. I'm nice to him.
No, you're not. He doesn't say it.
Stop.
You're not supposed to
You're
talk to me. We have a
not-
protection order. I just want them to leave
All
me
right.
alone.
So, Ms. Shearer, I have ordered that you have no contact with Ms. Woodward or her children.
That's fine. I haven't contacted her since she
okay.
assaulted me.
Just listen to me, please. You're to have no contact with Ms. Woodward or her children. Those are the only restrictions on this order. This order will be in effect for 1 year from today's date, Ms. Woodward. If you need it renewed, you have to come back to court and ask for that. You both are present here. Ms. Shearer, you've heard what the restrictions are, that you have no contact with Ms. Woodward or her children.
I already
And
don't, so that's fine with me.
A copy of the order that I've signed will be available to each of you if you wish to get a copy of it through district court, but it does not need to be served since you're both present.
Now that was a dumbass question. Of course you can keep your kids away from hers. Nobody's forcing them to hold hands and sing campfire songs. If you want to let your personal tantrum with the neighbors spill over into your child's social life, that's entirely within your power, just not exactly a shining example of responsible parenting. And speaking of neighbors, Alana isn't the only one she's decided to weaponize protection orders against. Nope, our resident parking lot patrol officer / community menace is on a full-blown campaign. So now we head into the next hearing. Yet another protection order she's attempting to slap onto yet another neighbor. Because why resolve conflict like a normal human when you can just hit the legal panic button on everyone within a 50-foot radius?
What's the question?
Why is she getting a protection order when she assaulted me? That's insane.
No, it's because of the allegation that you've had contact with her children over her.
I haven't.
Okay. Well, she said you did. So I hear you. Okay, I'm not arguing. Miss Sure, you'd have this tendency to argue all the time. I've listened to the two of you. I've made my decision. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
May I please keep my kids from her children?
Well, maybe you should control yourself. Because according to basic social mathematics, if you want to find the root cause of a problem, you toss all the variables into the equation and look for the common denominator. And in this little antisocial train wreck of an equation, that common denominator is you. Every conflict, every argument. Every protection order requests different people, different circumstances. But somehow the exact same ingredient shows up every time. You at some point. When every neighbor is a problem, every interaction is a conspiracy, and every inconvenience is a personal attack. The universe is politely trying to tell you something.
Amy Shearer, Nicole Heron. Shearer, good morning again. All right, we do have proof of service on Ms. Heron on the 30th of September.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Hold on just a minute.
Okay.
Ms. Shearer, what do you have to say?
So all of these cases that I keep having to get protections order on are neighbors that all relate back to Alana Woodward, because now another neighbor spent an entire night harassing me after Alana was by my house and I called the police because I had a protection order against Alana that says she can't be by my home or on my property. And so the neighbor that's friends with her spent the entire night texting me, messaging me on Facebook, and just harassing me all night. This issue with Alana is just ongoing. And I didn't go get an order against that neighbor, but I mean, how many orders do I have to get against neighbors because Alana is like, it's just an ongoing issue. It's getting
All right. So she managed to slap yet another protection order on yet another neighbor, this time on the same guy who literally stepped in. To stop the fight she caused with Alana, you truly cannot help or fix stupid. And she's out here running a full franchise of it. But don't worry, she's not the only disaster in today's lineup. Because now we get to shift gears from petty level, neighborhood nonsense, to a full-blown crash-out of biblical proportions. Up next is a guy who's about to melt down in court the moment the judge starts reading off his criminal history. Which, by the way, is long enough to qualify as a trilogy, so buckle up. The Karen circus is over. And now we're heading straight into a sentencing hearing with a man who clearly thought character development meant adding more felonies.
We can only do one person at a time, so we'll do one for Ms. Heron. It's not here today.
That neighbor has not harassed me again, but if she does, can I come back and get an order against her?
You can petition for it. I can't,
Okay.
Without reviewing the petition, I can't say one way or
But
the other.
you're saying I can come back and request it. Okay.
Yep.
But as far as this case goes, like I said, I'm about to be her neighbor on November 1st, and I would just like that she... What?
Said I saw that. I saw that in there.
Yeah, so I would just really like it if I could just get this order granted and she could just not be on my property, not have any communication with me and my family, not harm us or anything, so that we can just go about our lives as neighbors peacefully.
Yep. Yeah, I have signed I will sign the full order here.
Thank you.
It'll be in effect 1 year from today's date. If you want it renewed, you'll have to come back to court and ask for it to be renewed.
I appreciate it because, like I said, she has came through my front door before, and it's just, not a safe feeling. What
It's
does
under the
this
same
order
terms as the
state?
temporary. I'm sorry?
So if we're neighbors, can that 10 feet thing be in effect?
That's going to be up to the managers of the apartment complex. You show them the order and they'll figure out what they're going to do about it.
Okay, and then is there any way to add, to not be on my property or, near my vehicle? Because I'm worried about, her doing anything to my stuff or being on my property.
Okay. Yeah, she made a threat to your vehicle. She think to your vehicle?
She hasn't, but the day that she threatened me, she parked right behind my vehicle, which made me super nervous. And she, like I said, she's definitely entered my home before, pushed my front door through my front door. So I definitely want the property thing for sure.
I'll add those, but what that's going to mean is this order doesn't take effect until it's served on her once again, since I'm changing the order. So
that's okay, as long as she can get served again and it has those things in it. I'm good with that.
Okay, I've added those conditions that she not go within 10 feet of you, your residence, your vehicle, or your children.
But that is not a temporary, right? This will be the full order.
1 year from today's date.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, and it will include the vehicle and the property, but she has to be served with that so she knows her rights and what she's restricted from.
That's exactly correct.
And you did
So you want to...
You did add my children on this, though, right?
I'm sorry?
You did add my children to this, too, right? That she can't have any contact or harm my children?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. That's my only question. So,
Lacey Police to get it served.
Yes, so as soon as I receive it from the courts, I will call the Lacey Police Department and get that over to them.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
All right, So instead of sitting through the defense attorney's allocution, which, let's be honest, is basically a verbal nap with zero substance, we're skipping straight to the part that actually matters. The prosecution laying out their case for sentencing. This is where all the hard facts, criminal history, and context come together to show just how bad things are for our crash-out protagonist. Everything leading up to this was just filler. Now it's the meat of the hearing, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss how the judge reacts when the full scope of his decades-long misadventures gets read aloud.
DeMambro, the file number is 25-14039 FH. Appearances from counsel, please.
Joanna Carey for the people.
I'm Jeff Harrison. I'm here on behalf of Mr. DeMambro. I apologize.
Thank you. Mr. DeMambro joins us today via Zoom from a Department of Corrections facility. Mr. DeMambro, are you able to see and hear the court this morning, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Thank you. Mr. Kevin Stempleton is also here today from the Michigan Department of Corrections, and he has prepared today's pre-sentence investigation report. We are here today for a sentencing in this case involving a conviction of 2 charges. The conviction stemmed from a jury trial that occurred back on August 26th of this year. Let me take a quick look to see if I had any notes or process corrections. All right. I did not notice any need for correction. I'll start with Mr. Harrison while we're waiting for Ms. Carey to catch up. Mr. Harrison, any amendments, corrections, or objections to make to the content of the pre-sentence investigation report?
There are none, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Carey, how about the people? Did I give you enough time?
No.
Okay. We'll note that Mr. DeMambro is currently in jail because he had a parole violation. Is that right, Mr. Harrison?
I was unaware of that. He was convicted in Lake County.
Oh, okay. Was it another? Yes.
July 1st.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's correct. So that's why the pretrial credit only ran from February 20th.
Right. To July 1st.
Don't worry, because the judge is about to read your entire criminal history aloud. And we're talking everything. Decades of misadventures, prior convictions, and all the bad decisions that led you here. It's one of those everything you've done is coming back to haunt you moments. And you can practically feel the courtroom holding its breath as your past is laid bare. No edits, no sugarcoating, just the cold, hard facts.
The attorney has now joined us in replace Ms. Carey. It's his file. I know he was running a bit late due to an auto issue on the way to the office. Mr. Parks, did you have any amendments, corrections, or objections to make to the content of the report?
No, Your Honor.
Allocution on behalf of the people, then, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. The thing that sticks out the most to me with this is that the defendant was traveling up to 85 miles an hour, driving on the wrong side of the road around blind curves while there was an infant in the car. That's very disturbing to the people. And I heard most of what Mr. Harrison said. Yes, the defendant has high guidelines because of his priors, and this isn't his first flee and elude. This is extremely dangerous behavior that the defendant was found guilty of. I would urge the court to issue a sentence towards the top of the guidelines here. I'd recommend a sentence of 90 months.
Thank you. Mr. DeMambro, you have the right to make a statement if you choose to do so. I do recognize that you pled not guilty and were convicted at a trial. Is there anything you wish to say at this time, sir?
Yeah, I'm quite confused, as I have been this whole time. And it's hard for me, Your Honor. I'm trying to take your position as well as everybody else's, and I understand that there was a verdict reached. And I'm trying to be respectful to everybody. because I understand the process and I understand what's happened, and everybody has a job to do. I totally understand that. But what bothers me, okay, if I were one of them jurors that made that decision that day, okay, I would want to know everything regarding the case. Okay, I would want to know everything. And if them jurors were aware of everything regarding this case, that verdict would not have been reached, because that officer is lying over and over. And I don't have to prove that. He's done it himself by his own testimony. And it was all hid from the jurors. And it's just hard for me to humbly sit here and, you know, I'm so mentally exhausted, Your Honor, that I want this to be over with, but it's hard for me to just bite the bullet and just take something when I know it's not true. And I mean, I can say that wholeheartedly. If you look at my past,
Well, buckle up, because the judge isn't holding back. Every little detail counts. Hear your endless deflections, your zero remorse, and that impressive collection of over 30 convictions spanning more than 4 decades of life. And yes, he's going to go through them one by one, line by line, making sure the entire courtroom knows exactly how much history you've racked up. It's like a criminal highlight reel, but with far fewer laughs and a lot more consequences.
Yes, I've tried to get a good plea, but I've never taken it to this extreme. You know, this is, you know, Your Honor, I was offered a misdemeanor on this case, and I didn't take it. That should tell you my sincerity in what I'm trying to tell you. And I don't know what else to say. I just, if there's any way, like I said, I understand you all have a job to do, okay? But, you know, I'm already in my classes here. I'm already signed up for Vocational Village. I'm at a facility here that has several different vocational trades that they teach. But I'm signed up for the tree trimming job. That is the only one that guarantees you a job for when you're released, but it's in the Wayne County. But I don't care. I want away from that area anyway. So, but the point of it is, Your Honor, I'm in ASAT, which it's approximately 6 months, and then I go into the vocational trade sometime soon. My classes are all started, and you know, this is gonna throw a big wrench. I don't know. I feel like I'm asking too much, but then, you know, Your Honor, you've been doing it. You know that officer's lying. You can't tell me you don't. I mean, I don't know if you've watched his other testimony, but listen and read. I mean, you guys have all been doing this the guy is lying. It's not that he's a rookie, Your Honor. He is lying. It's not that he's just inexperienced. He's experienced in lying to you. And I mean, I feel like he's been, you know, because he had a whole different attitude in this courtroom than he did in Lake. In Lake, he thought it was funny. He laughed as he lied, smirked, you know, and it was like intentional. But up here, he tried to act more professional and more, you know, I feel because of the difference in the courtroom. I believe he, you know, I don't know. I can sit and, you know, come up with all the reasons, but I know personally that the man's not telling the truth. Okay, Your Honor, I don't know what else to say. I can't tell you, hey, I did this, when it's not true. I didn't do it. You know, and I don't, and it's hard for me. And I mean, I just want it to be over with. If there's any way that we can give me what I have and just be over with, I'll take it as, you know, I'm going to try, no matter what you do today, Your Honor, I'm going to try to learn from this so that I can change my life and stop being the person I was yesterday, the day before, and be a new me and get out and be successful, because I'm not a stupid person.